Sure, my boy's back. I'm back in my squeaky chair. I thought I'd entitle this video Doing a Bit of Weeding, because that's where I've been now. And thinking I was, meddwl o'n I, was an innate video back talking about weed addiction. Now, I'm subscribed to a gentleman on YouTube called Bill Howie. He's over in America, and he's been making videos about weed addiction for quite a while, and we're about the same age, and we look not dissimilar. So I thought I might take his lead and start a little video about weed addiction. Now, free the weed, man. Yeah, I mean, the mood music for cannabis and marijuana is that it's mostly pro, that it's only a plant and that you can't get physically and psychologically addicted to it. The last toke I ever took was in prison. And next year, that'll be 20 years. 20 years ago, my life changed completely. I haven't smoked cannabis, marijuana since then, and I haven't worked in the conventional sense since then. So it sort of changed my life completely. Now, I'm not blaming the plant. I'm not blaming cannabis. I'm not blaming marijuana. I'm blaming my mental health. I'm blaming my lack of self-esteem, my lack of discipline, if you like, my lack of purpose. That was actually written down on the notes by the prison psychiatrist. This gentleman has a lack of purpose. And still, 20 years off addictive substances, I still have no purpose. I mean, I swapped addictions. I mean, that's quite common. I swapped from alcohol to cannabis, and really, I've filled the void of purposelessness with internet addiction. So I don't have any answers. What Bill Howie does basically is to encourage people to think about their weed addiction. And if, as he says, that you know or you're convinced that your life is better with a little bit of weed, then of course this video is not for you. But his videos and this particular video that I'm making today is about those who are starting to have the sneaking suspicion that their cannabis use is becoming problematic. I knew it was a problem for me. I mean, I was in the grip of cannabis addiction, you could say, for about 5 years. 5 years solid, and then perhaps 2 or 3 years prior to that, on and off. But if I could get it, I'd smoke it. And it's this all or nothing mentality with addicts. And when you don't have the substance that makes you feel better, that's when you can make a decision as to whether you're addicted or not. I went into a bad mood if I didn't have any. I was in a very bad mood. But my mood lifted immediately as soon as I had that first toke. Can you relate to what I've just said? So I think that might be one sign that perhaps we're all different. That perhaps you might be struggling. I mean, why do we smoke in the first place? To make ourselves feel better. I think my cannabis use changed when it sort of enhanced the mood I was in. It didn't make me more relaxed. It didn't make me feel better. If I was grumpy starting to smoke, then it made me even grumpier. It enhanced the mood that I was having. Occasionally, I would have a nice mellow smoke, but more often than not, I was smoking in my own company. I mean, in the early days, you got your mates, and it's all a big laugh, and you're all having you're laughing at anything and everything, and you're in tears because the cat walks in and the cat looks stoned, and you get the munchies, and you send somebody off to the 24-hour shop, and you're all sat there paranoid, thinking that the next knock on the door is going to be the police. But then it's when you start smoking alone that you realize that the company you keep. And it just didn't dawn on me that my company was so negative. My own company now, my own persona was so morose, so negative. I mean, I went to the place where it's freely available, Amsterdam, the adults' playground, and in many coffee shops, sort of, I had the ghosting experience, and I looked around me, and I could might as well have been in the ghost train on Llandudno Pier years ago. Uh, Everybody looked ghoulish and like skeletons, and it's almost as if I could see an X-ray version of the other people who were in the coffee shops. I mean, Amsterdam was my Waterloo, but why should anybody need to get that far to end up imprisoned, to endure a drug induced psychosis? Why should anybody have to go through that ignominy? Um, did I have to? I don't know. 20 years down the line, I'm substance free. I must be happier, but I think that comes with age. It's not happiness, it's resignation. It's the resignation about your own mortality. And I wonder whether smoking substances, taking any kind of drug, is basically an escape from the idea of your own death. The fact that your life is so miserable, that you feel that your own life is so miserable that you must have some escape. I mean, reality is pretty grim, and that's why people take to drugs. But I think as you get older, you can start taking the small pleasures in things. And as Bill Howie often says in his videos, we're alive, we're still in the game. And perhaps that's it, that is the simple truth, that if you are still breathing, you're still alive, you've still got a chance.